What's good, guys? So this is the Monday after YCS Utrecht and YCS Las Vegas, the 3v3 ended. Both those tournaments were crazy. The coverage was insane. I love the coverage of the Vegas tournament. It was so cool. But today, let's talk about two decks that made their return. These decks have seen play in the past, but I'm just shocked to see them again. I'm happy to see them again, and they're just crazy decks. New adjustments to a bunch of them, so we'll talk about it. First deck being Gahzal, the Salamangreat deck. This deck is back after getting hits onto Gahzal, Circle, and Mirage Stalio. The deck should be dead, but it's just not. It's so resilient. I'm just so like impressed by this deck. This deck, every single format, just comes in and like just asserts its dominance as the best control deck of the format. This deck can play like 9 to 12 hand traps, so it can theoretically have a good spiral matchup, and it also just like has a really good matchup into other control decks because there's cards like Foxy, Rage, Roar, all these cards that are just so good versus grindy matchups because you just keep adding these cards back. Salamangreat, Foxy, Pop Spells and Traps. This deck not only this deck's just such a good deck to get through any tournament of Swiss. I've liked it for so long. You know what the issue is though? I was shocked at first because this was the second most played deck in Utrecht, and I was just shocked because Shadal's just came out, and I was like, this deck is done after Shadal's comes out. Winda is just too much for Salamangreat to handle. They never had an out to Winda before. In previous formats for the past year, we've seen the Salamangreat versus Orcus matchup where if Orcus opens the Winda, it's almost always just game. It's so crazy. It's like such a crazy floodgate to deal with, but Salamangreat has made some new additions to their deck to deal with Winda, and I'm just so shocked. I didn't know this card existed. Prohibit Snake. Let's just go over the text. At the start of the damage step, if your Cyberus Link monster battles an opponent's monster, you could send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Return that opponent's monster to the hand. So right there, that's your out to Winda. When your Cyberus monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard while this card is in your graveyard, you could banish one card from your graveyard, then target one level 4 or lower Cyberus monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So there you go, an extra effect too. Not only can you just discard this to deal with Winda or even Sleeper, because guess what? This card doesn't target. That's so crazy to me that it could deal with a Sleeper equipped with Last Resort with the field spell up. Now you have an out to that and out to Winda, Caliga, all those weird monsters that you just never could out before. And the crazy thing right here, it's a Cyber. So what does that mean? It means Sign It, Mining can search it. So I really do think this deck is back. This deck is definitely a control deck to play, probably the best control deck to play. I'm just shocked that it's back. Stalio's gone. I was just like, there's no way. Like it'll be a tier 2 deck for sure, but no, I think it's a tier 1 deck. It's a strong deck, and people should definitely, going into any tournament, be ready for this deck. Be ready for Rage, Roar, and Prohibit Snake. So that's the first deck I want to talk about. This deck won the whole thing at Utrecht, and there was a few others in Top Cut. So you definitely know that it's a deck that can get through Swiss, and you're gonna see this deck. That's what I'm trying to get at. And then the second deck that I want to talk about, Dinos. And then this is the story of Vegas. If Salamangreat was the story of Utrecht, Dinosaurs have to be the story of Vegas. Dinosaurs is so crazy. I thought at the UDS you saw one and make it into top 4, and I originally thought that it was just like one sneaking in. It was a lucky top because like Dinos have always been a rogue deck. They've always done this. They've done this for the last 2 years since they've been out. They've always snuck in. It's not like I'm saying Dinos is a bad deck. Dinos was always just a rogue deck. But I think that perception has to change now. There were so many Dino players at this tournament. Maybe Dino was a good meta call, but the things it does, it was just crazy. VFD, Trishula, just being able to go second and just board UCT is insane. I can't believe it. This card alone just searches UCT. The Ultimate Conductor Tyranno has to be one of the best boss monsters I've ever seen in my life. But why is this deck really crazy? So the game plan for this deck is they're going to blind second. And they main deck a bunch of different cards to just help them with blinding second and breaking apart the spiral field. There's so many times on the stream we saw the whole spiral field of Appaloosa, Trigate, Sleeper, equipped with Last Resort just be broken with this deck. And the reasons is because they can play things like Dogoran, searchable, and it's a dinosaur. It's just so much synergy with the deck. Dogoran, a Kaiju just outs almost any field. One well placed Kaiju plus like two, three good cards in your hand, like of your engine, you probably just break the field. But not only did they play Kaijus, Lightning Storm, evenly matched. These cards were all over in all of their decks. They're all blinding second. This card's just crazy too. It's not that good versus Shadows, but who cares? Like you might just have to take the game one loss, or you have the Kaiju. Like it's fine. Lightning Storm, a combination of Lightning Storm and a Kaiju, any combination of two cards evenly matched Kaiju kind of thing, just breaks apart the field. But I think the star card of this deck that the Dino deck decided to main deck was Mystic Mine. I talked about this before, but Mystic Mine is a ban-worthy card. We've seen this in stream countless times. People just activating Mystic Mine, no out in their deck. They just had to keep passing turn, and it was. I was stunned. I don't know going forward. Is it like correct to just play Cosmic or Twin Twister in your main? But people should definitely be scared. I think Dinos is a good deck. UCT is a really good deck. Pot of Extravagance is a good card. But like these board breaking cards that Dinos can just efficiently main deck, like they can just play Mystic Mine because they can play. They're gonna play Diagram, Set Rotation, Terraforming, and Lost World. All these cards are just board breaking. Like these cards are just so good going into the field. I think like the going second Dino deck is just so crazy, and it's just not a go second deck. I literally saw this deck go first, and because of this card, you could just set up crazy fields of VFD. You could Trishula them. I think Dinos is a real contender. I definitely like did not respect this deck before, but I have to respect it now. It is by far one of the strongest decks in the format, and these two decks, Salmon Great and Dinos, they're back. We've seen these decks before, but this game cycles. It's always changing, and that now this is the change that we're gonna have to like adapt to. Oviraptor is back in the game. Kaijus, Lightning Storms, Mystic Mine. Man, Mystic Mine is so crazy. Guys, let me know if I missed anything, but like give me your thoughts. What decks you guys like? What cards you guys really thought was cool? Did you guys like the Snake card? I thought it was so sick. I didn't know about it, but man, Mystic Mine, this card's crazy. Gahzal's back. Yep, let me know. Subscribe. Stay tuned.